You might not be surprised that because the inventory changes are so local, that home price changes are also local. So Texas and California and Georgia, South Carolina. So it's actually 4 states with negative home prices. If you were on the webinar in March, there were 8 states at that time. So some of these are moderating a little bit. And the ones that are around 0%, 1%, these are all essentially flat and they can bounce up or down in either direction. I actually expect Colorado to turn negative maybe by the next month's webinar. That'll be interesting. Unless we get like lucky and rates drop, and then we saw what happens to prices there. So we can see a bunch of things. We can also see over here in the Northeast, home prices 10%, 10% in New Jersey, Connecticut. These are the states where inventory has been the tightest. We know that Massachusetts actually had a couple of really had strong years. Inventory is now up about 30% year over year in Massachusetts, and home prices are moderated significantly. So if Connecticut, we can see, I'll actually dive into a little bit more in Connecticut. You can see if news listings start climbing a little bit in Connecticut, then we would expect this to maybe finally moderate a little bit. So in a weakening market, we can imagine things like Louisiana, Oregon, Colorado, the Tennessee, North Carolina. These markets are the ones that are more likely to move negative next. Although it has moderated a little bit as we hit the spring. And a couple other things to keep in mind is that Texas and Florida especially really have had 2 years of inventory gains. A lot of the rest of the country is really only 1 year into the inventory gains. So they have more room to grow, like California. There's a lot more room for California inventory to grow before we get real negative home price pressures. Here's another way to look at supply and demand. We have the sales price versus asking price. So we looked at the Altos Housing Wire data and looked at home sales for March versus their last asking price. On the left side, we have a few markets that tend to sell above asking, and you'll notice the California markets, especially the Northern California markets, San Jose and San Francisco, have chronic shortage of inventory. There's always very few homes for sale. San Jose has 5 million people in the metro and has like a fraction of the homes for sale in, say, Tampa. And so it's that very tight inventory per capita means that there's a lot more competition for every offer, for every listing, and therefore it's over asking. But we can also see there's Connecticut, right? Connecticut is the tightest inventory place in the country, and as a result, buyers in Connecticut have been paying over asking. Boston has had a strong price year, has been very tight inventory, although that's changing. So Boston has an over asking price. On the other hand, you can see the Florida markets and the Texas markets. Texas markets are hard to get sales prices at. So there's some of the Texas markets I took out like Dallas. The sales data we have for Dallas has Dallas at like 8% under asking as home sales data, and San Antonio also 8-9% under asking. But you can see where these are the tight inventory per capita, where we're still in like real seller's mode. People in the Northeast who are like, man, we just need more inventory, and you can see exactly what's happening to buyers. So setting people's expectation, knowing that this is what happens with sales price versus asking price. I think is a very compelling view.